What's up, YouTube? Yeah, I'm not gonna have time. You guys already know the drill, man. When I don't have time to sit on my laptop and make a video, I do it while I'm driving. I'm on my way down to Virginia right now. You know what I'm saying? Gonna see the homie Israel and Mason, because, we gotta have a little in-person chat. There's some things that I'd rather say in person, instead of over the internet. And, I know some of you guys, y'all live your lives on the internet, but you gotta go outside, man. Like, if you really want to know how people actually are, you gotta meet them in person. And this will be our second in-person interaction, because earlier this year we went straight to the source, the House of the Temple, and if you know what that is, you know what that is. I'm not babysitting and explaining basic shit anymore. Which, speaking of that, that's the topic of today's video. So, last night when I was on my way home, because I made the video where I basically said that if you think humans and animals are the same, get the fuck off my channel. Surprisingly, that video was very well received, so it seems like a lot of other people have been thinking the same thing and they want to say the obvious, but they may not say it out loud because they don't want to get judged by the massive amounts of orcaloid zombies who have used their free will to be reduced to the state of an animal. Now, the main reason I made that video is because originally I was going to do a live stream where I thoroughly broke down, human, mammal, and reptile DNA, where I went over specific genes, where I showed that primates and a human being are incomparable, because Google and Wikipedia falsely say we share 99% DNA or some bullshit. Primates don't even have reptilian brain in their body, right? A human being can regenerate. I'm not gonna, whatever. Right? I'll make that point in a separate video, and I'll provide video evidence in that video, because I know if I say it here, without actually showing people what is possible, people are gonna think I'm even crazier than they think I am, right? And that won't necessarily be free lunch, because I want to cover that ability that humans have in a separate video, because I'm going to use it to prove a more important point. But so originally I was going to do like a 2-hour live stream where I completely just proved all that shit wrong. Because understand something, right? Evolution has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but this bullshit that humans are animals, that's a theory that's only existed for a few hundred years, and it's a theory, right? People call me a conspiracy theorist and they say I'm full of shit, yet everything I've said on video you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, but motherfuckers want to worship a theory that hasn't even been factually proven. Whatever. But the whole reason I decided not to do that live stream is because I just realized something, man. If people were so fucking stupid that they don't see that from the time that they're born, this whole society is to regress them to the state of an animal, right? If these people can't even figure out on their own that in the natural ecosystem, humans have their specific purpose, which is separate from animals, which is separate from bacteria and shit. If people can't even go outside and observe nature and see that everything naturally born has a purpose and that humans and animals serve different purposes, if people need me to break down and explain that, they don't belong on this channel, because they can't be helped in the first place. Now, ironically, while observing the animal kingdom, and shout out to Charles, even though I think that guy is hopeless as well, every now and then he'll say something in a conversation that makes me notice something else, man. We were talking about dogs and coyotes, and I mentioned to him that, coyotes aren't really threats to grown adult humans, because compared to dogs, coyotes are small. Hell, even a dog isn't really a threat to a human unless it's been trained to attack. Because that's something you guys gotta understand, man. And it's really interesting, because human beings, despite the fact that we're supposed to be more intelligent and enlightened than animals, most people aren't. I would argue that a lab rat Now, granted, this is kind of a bad example because a lab rat is in an unnatural environment. It's in an environment controlled by humans. So fuck that shit, right? We're not even going to use a lab rat. I would argue that a street rat in its natural habitat is far more intelligent than a regular human. Now, why do I say this, right? Due to what our ancestors did time immemorial ago, most animals that have ever had contact with human beings in the past, they're naturally afraid of us because, you know, human beings went on a rampage and we slaughtered pretty much every type of animal in the world, either for food, resources, etc. So animals have a natural fear of us. The exceptions are animals that haven't really had much interactions with humans. That includes animals like polar bears and shit that lives at the bottom of the sea. Now, why do I say this, right? Because despite the fact that humans at one point in time were significantly more intelligent than animals, humans have suicidal tendencies. You know, they pick fights with people that they know they can't beat. They put themselves in positions that do not favor them, and they try to basically fight unwinnable battles. The modern human has lost their natural survival skills, which is another. I mean, people think I'm full of shit when I say that human beings are devolving and not evolving. This is just another. I got 1,000 more examples to prove this, man. But human beings have lost their natural survival mechanisms. You see, an animal will not engage in a situation that it believes will cause it an injury or it believes will be unfavorable to them, because a regular animal that is not living in an unnatural circumstance, right, when they're not living in an environment controlled by humans, they understand that if they get an injury, that's probably a week they can't hunt for food and then they'll starve to death, right? So animals understand it's in their best interest not to engage in situations that do not favor them. Now, this changes when humans basically entrap an animal and put them in an unnatural position. Then that animal begins to rely and worship the human for food, shelter, and resources, which is why if you domesticate an animal and you toss them back out into the wild, there's a very high chance that they will not survive, and unless they're a cat, because cats are like the best pets in the world. They can survive anything. It's crazy. I saw a video of a cat jumping off of a 20-story building that was on fire, and it landed right on his feet. It bounced a bit, but it didn't take any damage, man. Cats are amazing. But why am I saying this, right? Animals have one advantage slash disadvantage that humans do not have slash have, and this is really the main thing that separates the human from the animal. You know, not including the purpose of a human compared to the purpose of an animal. Humans have free will. See, animals, for the most part, they're born to just naturally follow their purpose. They don't really have free will to deviate from that unless a human being captures them and puts them in an unnatural situation. Human beings, on the other hand, because we have free will, we can use our free will to defy our nature. So, on the one hand, it keeps us above the animal, but on the other hand, if a human being is stupid and decides to use their free will to destroy themselves internally, external will follow. You know, as above, so below. You know, the external is a reflection of the internal, and the esoteric eventually manifests into the exoteric, right? I know a lot of what I just said just went over people's heads, but you know, this is a 3-hour drive, so I've got time to rant a bit, but this is the main point I'm trying to make here. The animal, because it does not have free will, it doesn't complain. It wakes up in the morning, it does what it needs to survive, it does what it needs to do to get ahead in life, and it does what it needs to do to continue the reproduction of its species, and it never complains. You know, the polar bear doesn't complain that it may have to stalk and travel 200 miles for food. You know, the fox doesn't complain that he may have to dive 100 times into the hard, thick ice just to catch one mouse buried beneath the Arctic. The cat doesn't complain that it may have to fucking climb a tree to catch that squirrel or bird to live and eat for another day, man. Animals don't complain unless a human being What's the only examples of animals complaining? Let's say a human being captures a wolf, right? I'm not going to use dogs as an example because I don't even think that dogs are a natural breed of animal. I think dogs, since the day they were born, were taken by humans and bred to be something unnatural. It's crazy how much dogs worship humans and how much they pick up on human habits. You know, I watched my own fucking dog. People are going to think this is crazy. I watched my own fucking dog deceive other family members and manipulate. It was crazy, right? So I don't even think that dogs are a natural breed of animal, but that's a different topic for a different day. But shit, where was I going with that? But yeah, so if a human being captures a wolf, you know, when the wolf becomes dependent on that human to survive and the human being stops giving the wolf food, then yeah, the wolf is going to start to complain. It's going to start to howl and moan. And if you let the wolf get hungry enough, it will eventually turn on its master for food. Now, mammals don't like doing that. See, because mammals and reptiles serve different purposes. Mammals, they're capable of human-like bonding with their own because mammals have to bond with their own in order to survive. You know, unlike the reptile that mostly hunts in solidarity and, you know, spends most of his life alone, most mammals spend a good early portion of their life around their families and the packs that they found. But the animal, unless you put them in an unnatural situation where a human entraps them, the animal never complains. The animal never complains that life is hard. It never complains that it has to do what it has to do to survive. It never complains that it may go a week without food if it gets an injury, right? It just does what it needs to do to survive. This includes mammals, this includes reptiles, this includes insects, this includes the fucking bacteria in your body. Your white blood cells don't complain if you get sick. Your white blood cells do what they have to do in order to keep your body healthy, sometimes involving collateral damage, right? You know, sometimes your own white blood cells will attack other helpful cells in your body if it believes that it's been infected with a pathogen. Human beings are the only creatures on planet Earth that use their free will to piss, bitch, moan, and complain, even when they really have nothing to complain about. You take a look at Americans, for example. Like, we're like top 10 countries of people that have everything we have everything in America, man. We got fucking electric cars. We got all the food in the world. We have so much shit that other countries don't have, yet people still find a way to use their free will to get depressed, to bitch, piss, and moan when they really have nothing to piss, bitch, and moan. Oh, you know, I'm having a hard time paying my rent. Okay, pick up some extra hours, motherfucker. Like, come on, man. When I stopped living with my mom, I had to make $10,000 in a month, and I never complained. I just did it. You feel me? Because I needed $2,000 to pay the first month of rent. Then I needed another $2,000 to pay for the hotel I was staying in for the month, and then I needed the other $6,000 to get other shit situated. Right? I had to pay off my credit cards. You know, I had to do a bunch of shit, man. I didn't complain that I had to make $10,000 in a single month. I just did what I had to do. I worked 70 hours each week in December and January. Well, the end of December and most of January. I made the $10,000 I needed to make in a month, and then I went to the next stage of my life. You feel me? You know, that's why I made the video Solutions Over Complaining. And this is why I always tell people to observe nature, man. Now, one of the common criticisms that I get is that people falsely believe that as human beings, we can't actually observe what is natural. We absolutely can observe what is natural. You people got to get the fuck off Google. You people got to leave your college campuses, go the fuck outside and observe the animal realm and the human realm. Yes, you got to observe both. And again, if you don't understand the difference between a human and an animal, please get the fuck off my channel. Because Everything in society is programmed to teach you the opposite of what is natural. I watched with my own eyes. In 2008, the definition for the word human used to mean a mammal that was not a part of the kingdom of Animala. I watched these motherfuckers change the definition of that word in 2009 to mean the same as an animal. And this is why part of me kind of regrets that when I explained that the root word of belief is lie, I used a dictionary to prove my points, because unless you use an ancient, archaic dictionary, dictionaries really aren't reliable because they change what words mean every day. So unless you get a dictionary from BCE, you really have no shot of ever learning what words truly mean. Nonetheless, it's just, there's levels to this shit, man. You can't teach somebody calculus if they don't know basic division, and you can't teach somebody basic division if they don't know how to do addition and subtraction. Understanding the difference between a human and an animal is understanding the difference between addition and subtraction. See, because everything in society programs you to do the opposite of what is natural and to eventually regress you to the state of an animal, de-evolution. Those of you fuckers that believe we came from monkeys, let me ask you something, right? Why are we so drastically different from monkeys right now? Clearly we evolved to no longer be that way, right? If you really believe we came from fucking orangutans and shit, does it make any logical sense to fucking regress back to that state? Come on, guys, use your brain. So even you people that disagree with me and think that we came from animals, ask yourself the logical question then. Why the fuck would we ever return to the state of an animal? Doesn't seem natural, right? If we worked so hard to evolve to this point, why would we ever go back? Come the fuck on, guys. You guys better wake up. Anyways, though, man, I got another 55 minutes until I get to the first supercharger, because in the Tesla, you're driving 300 miles. You got to stop at the supercharger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to actually upload this video while I'm at the first supercharger. And who knows, maybe Israel and Mason will see this video before I get to them, man. Shout out to them. But yeah, man, like I said, guys, I'm done babysitting. I'm done giving basic information. From now on, my videos are going to be a lot more advanced, okay? So, if you can't keep up with what I'm saying from now on, this isn't going to be the channel for you. And if you still haven't figured out the difference between a man and a woman, if you still haven't figured out that, humans aren't animals, if you still haven't figured out basic shit, then you're not going to be able to understand the more advanced shit. I'm still not going to give anybody free lunch. Most of the information you guys are still going to need to go straight to the source and learn on your own. All my channel is for is a stepping stone for those who are capable of going even further. So there's a couple of genes in the human body that I want to specifically cover the next time I have free time. And then there's some other topics I want to cover that nobody else on YouTube is covering right now, or when I have some free time. So, but yeah, man, and as usual, I just passed MSP. Shout out to State. Oh no, that was Transportation Authority. Shout out to them. They arrested my brother 10 years ago. No offense. If my brother watches my videos, no offense to you, man. But, shout out to MDTAPD, Maryland Transportation Authority Police. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. And yeah, man, solutions over complaining. Animals never complain about life, and they have way harder lives than we do. So as human beings, don't use your free will to complain. Use your free will to understand the game, ascend above the game, and lead your future offsprings to enlightenment and fruition. I'll catch you guys in the next video.